make it stop, for Christ's sake. All right, our final guest tonight. Let's see here. What do we have? Okay, the vision is really going here. I see a lot of tiny dots on the page. So this is a performer. He is a voice actor, and he has starred in such things as Aqua Teens and Hunger Force. Are they the same thing? No, it's. And also on something called Robot Chicken. Sounds like a villain that I beat up once. So let's give it up for George Lowe.
I'm not doing any of that chair shit. Hello, how are you? Hello, citizen.
Good evening. Welcome to the show. Watch your cord.
Some sort of an appliance over here.
All right.
Don't worry about this. It's not medical. Hello there.
Okay.
Hey, kids, look at me. I'm up past my bedtime. How about that? Hi, Spacey.
Greetings.
What's happening?
Oh, all kinds of
I had a
things.
bad trip to the ear doctor the other day, so if I miss anything, I'll just ask you again. They sucked out the part of my brain that does long division.
Well, don't worry, there's no
I
math
can't
involved
hear
here.
anything. They go in with a surgical tool called an alligator, and they were very precise. This one over here, they bring in this damn hose, and they got some fat lady in the hall named Inez sucking it out with a Hoover. So it looked like I had a pet rabbit. The stuff that came out of my ear, it looked like I had a rabbit living in my ear. I'm sorry that I had to share that with you. For those of you ladies, there are bags on the chair in front of you if you feel the need to lose your dinner.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
normal.
probably better dessert conversation.
Hi, Space.
Hi.
You handsome devil, you.
Hi.
Yeah, this is something. Look at the table. My God, the work
isn't
you
this
guys
lovely?
have put in.
Isn't this lovely what they made?
Hey, look, the last guy lost a penny.
So there you go. Score.
This crap's already paying dividends.
So now,
God knows the residuals didn't.
So George,
Yes, Space, let her rip.
is this your first video game convention?
My first, this is actually my first, pinball thing, and it's great because normally I'm sure some of you who do the comic book conventions will agree with me, it's basically a great big building that smells like cup of soup. It can be a little dicey in there, can it? And you always get the CMF. That's the convention mystery fart. Man, walk through about 4 or 5 of them boys. Ask me why I'm blind in the right eye. Some kid who's been eating okra all weekend from Des Moines. Hi, Space.
Hey.
Boy, the last guy, man, he was something, wasn't he? That chair guy.
You just
One of those
wind
chair
him up
guys.
and off he goes.
My God, I'd be at the hospital if I did half of what that guy did.
Yeah, that's why he nearly took out
I'd
my
have to have
desk
like
there,
a guy
huh?
come out and be me and roll around in the chair while I did the voice back there. Hello, everybody. Oh. Let me just have a sip of my brain natriuretic peptide soda.
Oh, well, all right.
Mm.
So now
Yes, sir.
I'm told that you are a voice actor.
Yeah, well, don't let that fool you.
So can you tell the audience?
I had the best line, by the way, when you asked what he was going to be doing in the future.
Yes.
I blurted it out. I said, I'm going to be doing illegal C-sections at the new Sandals in Guatemala. I'm always thinking of the best stuff for somebody else.
So is there big money in that?
So the voiceover thing, yeah, what can I tell you, Space?
So
ask me anything.
Well, what character would you be best known for?
Hazel from that show, you know, where they have the maid and the kid
Hazel?
who has adventures.
So you did the voice for Hazel.
Yeah, the voice for Hazel.
So
I was known
remember
for
that.
years as
That's-
Shirley Booth's looping actor.
Oh,
That's oh, Mr. B, I can't make a roast tonight. I've got an infection. Oh.
well, it's just like you're there.
It was a very popular show, Hazel. This man out here in the middle can't think of a way out of here fast enough. Got the Adidas jogging suit on. He's about to haul ass out the door. We went to the Space Ghost thing. Most disappointing.
So, so aside from your stint on Hazel,
My stint on Hazel.
what other characters are?
Well, you
are
handsome
on?
devil, I'll just go ahead and spill the beans. We had 112 episodes of a little thing called Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Space Ghost Coast
Yeah.
to Coast.
Oh, I see you've heard of it. Thank you
By all
so
means,
much.
tell us about that.
Tell us about that. Well, back in 1993, when I was still roaming the halls at TBS and TNT, doing promos, and yes, Turner Latin. I even got pulled into Turner Latin, and the Portuguese guys were always going, "You still don't know 2 words, do you? You don't know how to say anything." And I said, "No, you taught me one, chimichanga." And they were like, "Yeah, but we ordered that after this session." I was lurking around the halls at Turner doing that. Mike Lazo was still down, I think, near my friend Kate McSweeney. Didn't have the big fancy office, but he had folk art on the walls. And I'm like, "Oh, you've been to R.A. Miller's?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know R.A. Miller?" And we became friends with kind of the folk art thing. Well, enough producers at TBS and TNT kept saying, "Have you read George? Have you read?" He's like, "I didn't know he did voices." And they had a curtain up over there. Talk about ominous. Walked in. Clay's the one who told me this, rest his soul. I didn't remember this part of the story. When I auditioned, they had a curtain over the window. So it's like if you go in and you really suck, you don't see them making faces. Like, oh, on the other side of the glass, "Oh, this guy. Oh, really? How gauche." But I would hear things like, I'm looking at the notes, and I would just blurt stuff out like, "What's he supposed to sound like, a moron?" And you would hear him on the other side of the glass going, kind of muffled, but I could make, back when I had hearing, and apparently killed it. Just like the next day they called and gave me the gig. But we just pulled the whole show out of nowhere. The writers were awesome. They were insane. And I think the turning point, you may get a different story from somebody else. The turning point for us as far as using ad libs, we ran out of tape with Branford Marsalis. And so we're just kind of chit-chatting on the phone. He was in New York, I was in Atlanta. And Branford's like, "So we're completely out of tape, mind you. They're having to rack." This is the days of the old giant reels. And he's like, "Yo, Space Ghost, what you listening to?" And I said, and I could not have sounded like a less knowledgeable person about the world of jazz. What do some of the beat performers say now? I think I could not have sounded any more like a white boy. And Branford's on the phone very generously going, "So what are you listening to, Space Ghost?" I'm like, "Oh, I just got Miles Davis at the Wooden Nickel." And he was just convulsing. Branford's on the phone laughing his butt off. And he's like, "Come on, Space Ghost, you don't know no Miles Davis." And I said, "Oh, yes, I do." He's like, "Man, shit, what are you listening to, Space Ghost?" I said, "Serpent's Tooth." And he's like, "Okay." Now, just in case any of you have never been counted off by a Marsalis brother, there's no known musical horror in the universe like having Wynton or Branford or any one of the very talented Marsalis family count you off. And this is what he did. We're just screwing around on the phone. And I'm like, "Oh, I like the Serpent's Tooth." He goes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm like, "Oh my God, so I better do it." So I go, and pardon my lack of a voice, but I just hit it, and it was like, he starts singing the chorus part. Again. Well, then we get, Lazo starts screaming in the back. So all I hear is Mike Lazo, who to me always sound like drunk Huckleberry Hound. Lazo's in the back going, "Wait for tape, wait for tape." We get the tape on. He's like, "You got another one in here?" I'm like, "Yeah, what, you want to do it again?" So that's when we put it on tape. And of course, when I got to the scat part, I did it as dumb as I could. But oh my God, we had a ball. And I think, I may be wrong, To my knowledge, that was the second ad libs got pulled in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And they would ask me stuff like Lazo was great. Yeah, I walked out of one session. He said, "Hey, when you're done, will you go back in the room and just go loo 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 loo?" Why, yes, I will. Just, like I was making a stock trade or somebody. The boss says, "Would you go do that?" I said, "Yes." Into the session, they're like, "Don't forget Lazo's thing." I went, loo 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 loo. And they're like, "Good, we got it. That's plenty. Thank you." It was just an insane asylum. Matt Harrigan was always my favorite, still always is my favorite producer, because Matt is a complete squirrel too. Every year I see Matt, I get the same annual lie. I now call it the annual lie. Anybody out there doing this live so I can tell Matt it's the annual, hi, thank you, sir. It's the annual lie. Matt's like, "Buddy, I've got this great idea for a show and we've got to do it and we're going to do this show." This is 3 years running now. And I call it the annual lie. That's right. So I see Matt again this year, walk in. Matt goes, "Buddy, I've got the best idea for a show. We got to do this show. We'll set up the equipment in Florida. We can do it back and forth. I'll be up here. We'll produce, blah, blah, blah." The annual lie. And we never do. But Matt was always my favorite producer because he would say what's going on in Florida. And I would blurt out stuff like, "Oh, rats got in my warehouse and ate the chocolate in my Bender figure from Fox TV." Fox sent out these complimentary Benders to all the stations from Futurama. And I forgot it had a chocolate bar in the chest. You open it up, it had a chocolate bar and Mom's motor oil, which was chocolate drink. And I didn't know my warehouse at the time. I don't have it now. I had to sell it to pay off gambling debts with the mob. First the fingers, then other things. So had to take care of that. I'm sorry. I'm no damn help to you, am I?
You're making my job easy. I just have to sit here and look pretty.
Matt was just great about pulling that stuff out of you. He just, "What's happening with the neighbors?" And you would say, "Oh, I got this one guy that mows his lawn in a white bikini. We call him Bikini Man." And it's true. And of course, I would drive by and, you say stuff like, "Hi, Mark, how's it going? That reminds me, I've got to go to the store and pick up Lil Smokies." And this guy never gets it. You drive by the next day, he's out there in the white bikini mowing the lawn. "Hi, neighbor." "Hi, Mark, that reminds me, I must go to the store later and pick up tater tots." This is 30 years of this guy mowing the lawn in a... It's like that song.
I don't think I even have to ask anything. You just go, man.
Yeah, well, the whole thing was stream of consciousness. We had great writers. They did great scripts. And then we would all go off on tangents.
I watched the show.
Funky Baby, Andy and I pulled Funky Baby just out of nowhere.
Say again?
I ended a session. It was just sitting in the booth going... Andy's like had to run 16 miles to get to the booth that I was in. It's crazy. You would think right across from each other at the studio, you have to go down like 6 halls to get over to the voiceover booth. Andy came in and started doing all that. "Oh, baby, I got you, baby. Oh, baby." It was a madhouse. It was a madhouse.
Well,
what other job would I have done? Can you imagine if the medicine thing had worked out?
So tell me,
everybody who doesn't have progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathies, take one step forward. Not so fast, Mrs. Goldman. Pardon my indelicacy. There's a reason you have those pulsing nodules all over the top of your head. Hello, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to run away with your show.
No, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. Not a problem.
I'm sorry, folks. It's more blabby than the last thing. I can't roll.
I think we'll just change the name of the show to George Lowe.
Back, and that'll be it. I'll be like the boy in the bubble. Then everybody will have to come see me and get the picture handed by an assistant. Can he touch anything? Just dip the bubble in the ink. There you go. It's kind of a paw print. Here you go. Thanks for dropping by. That'll be $60. That'll be the new feel sorry for me price. He's in a bubble, for God's sake. Give him the $60. I had a guy sit down with me at the table today. God bless him. Just came right behind the table, sat down, started talking to me. These are the times, even without legs, I feel like I could walk out of the building on just my ass muscles. I'm sorry. Hey, you want to hear the worst medical joke in history? You'll love this. You can use this at the next thing. Guy goes to I can do the whole thing in 6 seconds. Anybody can stopwatch? Here's the hotel telling me to stop cussing. Penis, 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 penis.
I don't even know where to go now.
Here, you intro it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a 6-second joke.
So a 6-second joke?
Yeah, billboard it. 6-second joke.
You want a 6-second joke from me?
And then somebody hopefully has a stopwatch and keep me honest.
Oh, okay. I see. All right.
Ready?
Well, actually, getting back to the show.
No, you got a billboard 6-second joke.
A 6-second
Yeah,
joke.
it's time for.
It's time for a 6-second
I'm giving
joke.
you the open, for God's sake.
Okay.
This is the most important part of the thing.
I see. All right. So, the 6-second joke.
Guy goes to the doctor. The doctor says, you got to stop masturbating. The guy says, why? The doctor says, so I can examine you. Outro. 6-second joke brought to you by Tongue Brothers Ball Game Wieners. They plump when you touch them.
I don't think I have to do anything up here. I'm just gonna
6-second
sit, I'm
joke
just
brought to
gonna
you by
let 'em go.
Panty Pudding. Pour dry mix and aerosol in airtight pants. Go for a stroll. In 20 minutes, you got panty pudding.
Oh, you want
Now
to
in
talk about their
tapioca.
pants?
I'm sorry. I'm never going to be invited back. Get the guy who falls on shit out here again. Did he leave already? I was going to ask him to get me a job at the network.
See, it was pointless to write out all these questions. All I had to do was introduce him, and
sorry.
I could even just leave the stage. Just let him go.
You look tired. I'm trying to help. You look like you wanted a little rest. You built the handsome desk. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to sign this damn thing. You and I are going to go online with it, and we'll be retired.
I'm in.
It's by the desk. That's what you ought to do, is give the money to charity. Sell the desk. Thank you. There we go.
Sign my desk.
There we go. Greetings, citizen. Now, if I can get the Clydesdale over here to quit clip-clapping around, I might be able to sign it in a straight line. You and your size 84 kids. By the way, folks, safety tip, if you ever go to a show with Lou Ferrigno, for God's sake, don't go in the bathroom after him. Those damn things pop out green, flexing, and mad. I swear to God, I had to slam the lid down. They were trying to make a break for it. I'm sorry. Well, it came out, he did a bunch of toilet jokes. Now we have a snack tip. Most of you who know me know the tradition is they're panty and food related. And the snack tip
Is he signing it, or is he writing a story?
I'm
Is
still
he
writing.
sketching a picture? I'm in the dark.
Wait a
here.
minute. Here's a bonus picture. I'll try and do Dot over here. Dot's my little psychotic character. Boy, this is,
Psychotic's the word, definitely.
man, could this chair have less support? Where'd you get this, down at Jerry's?
I think we've gone
Spina
beyond
Bifida
signature
related
and
home
we're into
furnishings?
decorating.
Oh, look, this thing's great. Look at this. There you go. There's Dot.
He's so focused.
I got to put my copyright on Dot, though, so some cheese bag at the network doesn't steal it from me. You blurt stuff out there, and the next thing you know, it's robot chicken. Seth, I love you. Seth actually invited me to the Christmas party today. Dumbest thing I ever did, turned down the party at the Playboy Mansion. That would have been all on me, though. That's a lot of money to pay to go watch naked people flopping around. You can always go to the nursing home for that, am I right? There's that. Look at that. That's some handsome damn work there, if you ask me.
Well, there you go.
Huh?
All righty.
So we put that pig online. Whatever your charity is, then, you keep the money for the charity.
This is going up on eBay in the
Right?
morning, for sure.
Let me just have a sip of to borrow a line from my hero, David Letterman. I hope you won't begrudge me this opportunity to enjoy a refreshing beverage. That's the great one. Oh my God,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So,
man.
tell me, when did you first discover that you had a talent for doing?
What do I do?
work?
Sorry.
When did you first find you had a talent for doing voice?
Oh
work?
my God, I don't know, 2 years ago maybe. I hope I haven't lost the ear
Obviously, the
thing now.
medication's
Boy, I'm going to
kicking
be
in.
doomed if I lost the ear thing. Wait a minute. Oh, I feel something in there. Get your mind out of the gutter. There it is. Had to make sure I had my ear thing for tomorrow. That
I
room,
thought he was going to call out a bingo number.
that room is like sensory overload, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. It hit me at age 13. Had a bunch of friends shove me in a radio station. Where are you going? Who the hell gave you the day off? Get back in here. I'll come after you. Don't think I won't. I'm old, but I'm wiry. Get your butt back at the
I think
mixing
he means it.
console. No wonder I sounded overmodulated. 13, bunch of my buddies shoved me in a radio station in Clearwater, Florida. Different time. People were a little nicer then. And a bunch of old guys sitting around with the white shoes and the white belts. Room just billowing with cigarette smoke. How I haven't died by now just from contact poisoning in radio stations. It gave me the stones because they were so nice and let me do an audition that at 15, I walked in, I had the nerve to go into a station in Brooksville. Same guys, white belts. Wait, Brooksville? Yeah? I'll speak slower. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm sorry. The great thing about Brooksville, you pull in and it's like you see the sign, every town has it. It's like Lions Club, JC's, Kiwanis. And the slogan is birthplace of that sound. So anyway, at 15, I walk into the station in Brooksville and I go, your night guy sucks. And these old guys were just like, oh, our kid's great, give him a tryout. I was on that Friday night, and they kept me. It was great.
Now that's a job interview.
Yeah. And I was too damn crazy to ever stop. Although, at one point, here's a real scare. I had a friend who was head of thoracics at a major hospital, I'm not naming names, and he thought it was cool to have a TV buddy, and I thought it was cool to have a surgeon buddy. And I would get these calls. Henry was Brazilian, and you would just get, not the kind where you ladies, to get ready for the beach, not that kind of Brazil. Henry was from the country, as opposed to the removal of the hair. The Brazilian thing.
I got it.
If you ride too many carnival rides, you go home and you don't want to be near the unguentine for about a month. Anyway, Henry would call you, go, subtotal gastrectomy, 4 o'clock. You ever see a subtotal gastrectomy? I'm like, no, that'd be cool. Well, the more surgeries I start going to, Henry starts lying and introducing me as Dr. Lowe. I'm his first-year resident now. And he's pulling out, hand to God, he's pulling out intestine and asking me where to stop. So luckily, hold up your cape a little. Luckily, like if you see nice, healthy hair, and you've got this on the other side, it's easy to find the necrotic dead tissue. And so I started sounding very smart. I was like, about another 6 inches. Long Kelly right there. He's like, that's perfect. That's perfect. Right. I'm thinking, what if I goof? this person's going to have a harmonica stuck in there or something. Every time they fart, it's going to sound like Lady of Spain. Hey, you remember that summer you and I got crazy and we gave the pet porcupine at your house, we had him eat all the dry beans? And you kept trying to pull the legs apart, make it play Lady of Spain. We did 6 hours we tried that. It was great. I scared the Navy guy. My Navy friend just hauled ass out of here. This guy's leaving too. I'm sorry. Oh, sure, wave sarcastically.
You're just chasing him out now.
I'm sorry.
That's quite all right.
Boy, it's become stream of consciousness theater, hasn't it?
It's more George for the rest of us.
I'm sorry. What else did you want to know?
So, well, let's see.
So I was a surgeon for a while. No license, no fuss, no muss. And actually, a friend of mine in Atlanta at Grady, a surgical nurse, swear to God, Dragon Con this year, says on my panel, "Can I bring you a present?" And I said, "Sure." I'm thinking it's going to be a kiss or something good. Comes up, hands me a complete, ready-to-go, sterile chest tube insertion tray. Thank you very much. Got the forceps, got the whole thing ready to go. And I looked at her and I said, "I think I can still find the 5th rib if I have to." That's where you go, rib 5. Rib number 5, cut open, get in there, let all that blood drain out, pressure starts to restore, everybody's happy. I know you'll feel like your pressure's restored when this is over. Serpent's tooth, you in the back, quick. I'm going to get my ass kicked later. Darth Vader and those guys are not happy with me. What's the other one, Debbie Drake? Exercise maven, Debbie Drake, and Darth Vader. All right. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay.
Buy
Actually,
this handsome thing online. Right? Are we doing that?
Well, we'll just have you back each year, and you just sign another part of the desk.
You're going to keep it, you butthole. I know what you're doing. I just called me a butthole. Hey, me, I'm a butthole. The two of us are two buttholes. That's stereo buttholes.
okay.
Remember them? They used to open for, I think, the motels, the stereo buttholes. They played their own version of the Serpent's Tooth. That was kind of a punk version.
Okay. Awesome.
Get out of here. Shut the door, you slush bag. Sorry. Sorry you had to see that ugliness. The kitchen people were coming in. Have they all stopped laughing now? Am I done? Should I go to the room?
Actually,
You got 85 questions to go. Oh, shit. Well,
now our team actually had a request. They have some of their favorite space games. One in particular, the Space Harrier, and they were wondering if you would read a caption from the intro of that game.
oh, sure. Sure. Caption. Nona knew she had to have Pietro in the worst way. She lay there on the divan, breasts heaving, waiting for Pietro to bring forth the giant 40-gallon tub of clotted cheese. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Hold on. No, here we are. Here we are.
I don't think that's the
my,
card.
My boy does. Far away, there was a special land. This isn't mine. What is this?
I have.
Some
I
other
have no
stupid
idea.
show I've never heard
They
of?
gave me the card.
Are you responsible for this? You know, I'm not paying for summer camp for you if this is the kind of crap you're going to hand me. Let's try and sight read it and see what we get. Far away, there was a special land where peaceful dragons lived peaceful lives until the attack. I ought to read it like Morgan Freeman as best I can. Vicious creatures seeking final extinction for the dragons. You are their last hope. Laser blast and dodge your way through a frantic fantasy land swarming with unbelievable monsters and mutoids constantly coming at you. It must be the kind of freedom only a free man can know. I hope the ocean is as blue as I've seen it in my dreams. I hope. I hope.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Lowe. Thank you for coming, sir. This has been a true pleasure.
Thank you, my brother. Oh, my God. By the way, the last guy left this thing moist. It's like he laid eggs in it or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes Space Goes Live. Thank you so much.